guys, let's practice again, and this time I want to write a function that can check the number of prime numbers which are less than 10,000, and I'm going to use a function to do that. And this function I'm going to call it here just as what I did here, and let's jump into it. And it's exercise EX35, and we pick main function here, main method. And then the idea is to learn how to write functions or methods. That's why we are practicing a lot. We write a lot of methods so that you get used to that, because the main goal of this series is to give you momentum of typing. So if you type a lot, that's how you master the concept. So here on the main method, I'm going to start with int count. We start with 0, and then I'm going to write the for loop again. For loop int number, maybe 1, let's say number is equal to 1, and then number, let's say, is less than maybe whatever, 9,000, and then we can just loop by 1, let's say +1. Okay, and then here we're going to say if. I'm going to use boolean here. This function is going to be boolean, it's going to return function. So as you remember, I said if you are typing a function that is going to return boolean, true or false, always you have to start with is. So we are going to say is prime number, and then we pass the number here, and then count plus. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to print if this function here, because I haven't created this method, I have to create this method. And this is the idea of this tutorial, or the idea of this question exercise, that we are trying to write this function here now in a separate as a module, and when we call it in our main method, we just say if this prime number, then we pass the number here, then we increment by 1, then we should print this whatever I want to print here. So which is let me use object new string builder, and then here I'm gonna pass a string and say the number of prime number less than 9,000 is, and then we concatenate append, and then we use count here, and then we convert to string. Okay, and then now let's write this this method here. So we are going to say public static boolean, and then we say is prime number, and we pass the data type that we want to pass. It is int number, so our function is going to return integer, so that's why we have to pass int there. And then what do you want to do? So we have to use for loop. It's very useful if you master how to use for loop. So I'm going to use int, then I say divisor, because you've used this before. If you haven't checked my former videos or previous videos, I suggest or recommend you to go there and watch the video from the beginning of this series. So divisor is going to be less or equal to number divided by 2, and then divisor, we increment divisor plus. So, and then we are going to say if for loop and if. These are really, it's fundamental, but they are very useful because you're gonna use them as we go. I'll be using them almost everywhere within a method, within a class, and within a creating object. They are very useful. So here I'm going to say if a number module divisor is equal to 0. So if we divide a number with divisor and we get 0, then we are going to return false. Okay, and then otherwise you can just say return true. Okay, so the only difference here, just that I'm not using the curly brackets here. So if I could have used the curly brackets, which is also okay, you can use, and from here then you get one here. See, and then from here, let's try. So I say else, so it's saying, I think this one has to be here. It's a little bit more confusing, but you can just put it here. If you're using curly brackets, then you have to put it here. Return true. Okay, Control Shift format. And this is how you, if you want to use the curly brackets, but for me it's not always, I don't use them. But let's see. See, it's much simple and easy to read, so that's why I don't, if it's not necessary, I don't use them. So you save and run. So it's telling us the number of prime number less than 90 is this one.